Today is our review day for the first test. So Monday, when you come into class, we're going to be taking test 1. Okay, test 1 covers classes 1 through 9. That includes the review day, right? But all the material you'd study is classes 1 through 8. Just briefly, I'm going to walk you through what resources you have to help you prepare. And then the remainder of class, you're just going to be working on getting a jump start on your studying for the weekend. Okay? So your homework over the weekend is just to study for the test. There is no MyMathLab assignment for this class, but there is an optional test review assignment in MyMathLab if you want to do that to help you prepare. Know that that's there. Right after this class, so on page 51 of your packet, there is a study guide for test 1. There's a long list of just verbally or in writing out all the things that you need to be able to know how to do for the test. So as you're studying, you might kind of check these off, like, oh yeah, I know what that means. I can do that. I can do that, right? And then there's a list of resources. So like I just mentioned, there is a practice assignment in MyMathLab for the test. Looking over your old homework assignments and the quiz 1, which I just gave back, can be helpful. There's a set of sample test problems on the next page. I'll talk about that in just a second. And you can bring 1 page of notes with you to the test. Okay, 1-page reference sheet. You can write on the front and the back. You can handwrite it or you can type it, but you have to create it yourself. Okay. Yes, the outline I gave you, you can use. Yeah. So if we go back a couple pages, yeah, this is part of your packet. It's page 49. It's just a little summary table thing that you can use maybe as the front of one of your note page, and you can summarize all the different kinds of equations that we now know how to solve, and you will be tested on for the test. So use that if you want as part of your 1 page of notes. Put anything else you want on the back of it. Yeah, okay, so as far as calculators go in the test, you'll be allowed to use only a scientific calculator, no graphing calculators. So you're not going to be responsible for knowing how to do anything with technology. But I may give you a picture of a graph, like I will generate a picture using technology, give it to you, and then ask you to interpret it or use it to solve an equation or something like that. Yes. Yep. 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 So that is number 4, right? Yeah. So graphically find all solutions. So we don't have algebraic techniques to solve these. That's why I said graphically. So if you're at home, I would graph both of those things in GeoGebra and find their intersection points. That's how you solve things graphically, right? You look at the graph, you would graph this. So yes. Well, so normally I'd have you graph this, and then I'd have you graph y2 is 1 and find their intersection. Right? You will not have a graphing calculator or GeoGebra, but I may give you a picture that I created in GeoGebra and ask you to use that picture to solve that equation. Right? That makes sense? So you don't have to know how to make the picture, but you have to know how to read the picture. Okay. Good question. Yeah, so I need to edit this to include the pictures for you for my mistake. So yeah, you have these study guide sample test problems. The answers are at the very end. Okay. Answers to the sample test problems. And if you cannot figure out why you can't get one of these answers, if you're getting something different and you just can't figure out where this answer is coming from, if you hop onto our course Moodle site and scroll down to the last block, there's test prep material. This first link, sample test 1 videos, takes you to a playlist in YouTube. where all of those problems in the sample test problems packet are solved on the board, right? Like step by step, I'm talking and writing, and some of them are me, and some of them are Ian Winokur, just another professor. Yeah, here's some are me and some are Ian. Yep. All right, so those are all the resources that you have to help you prepare. So I would encourage you to use this class period to work through sample test problems, start creating your note sheet. A technique that works really well for me when I'm studying is to, whenever I have a sample test, work through the sample test, and anytime I need to look something up, jot it down on your one-page sheet of notes so that you have sort of a running list of all the things that you didn't know off the top of your head. And then once you have that note sheet all created, you've worked through the whole thing, you've written down everything you couldn't remember, then I do the sample test problems all over again, right? Cover up all your work, do them all over again, where the only thing you're allowed to look at is your sheet of notes that you created. Usually takes like a few hours to go through all of that. Any questions? Don't forget, you also have more practice problems in my math lab if these aren't enough. All right, so yeah, use your time productively. This is your time to prepare however you need to. If you need it to be quieter and you'd rather go work in the math studio or the library, that's totally okay. But I am here to walk around and answer questions for until 2:10. So do what you need to do.